Welcome to another episode of CricChat. This week's updates. Calgary's women cricket organization successfully held their indoor tournament. Just for your information, girls cricket is just around the corner. Lastly, cricket season in Calgary is about to kick off, and stay warm because it's going to be pretty cold. With that, let's welcome Abdullah Haisam to the show. First of all, this question is from some of our viewers. When you make plans and you say, I'll meet you there,
Yeah.
and then you never show up,
Yeah.
can we clear the air and figure out why that is, and why does that continue to happen year after year?
Yeah, that's basically a no.
Okay.
That's a nicer way of putting it, but basically means a no.
Okay.
When I say I'll meet you there, yeah,
It's not happening.
it's not happening. No.
So I have a friend, a really close friend, who does something similar, but what he does is he overcommits.
Yeah.
So he makes plans with a couple of different parties,
Yeah.
and then he doesn't know which one to choose. So is that the case with you, or?
No, when I'm basically double-minded, if I want to do it or not, then I'm just saying, just play it safe and just say, I'll meet you there.
I'll meet you there.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. Yeah, that's a very famous line
अच्छा.
in our friend circle as well.
तो ये जो आपके दोस्त हैं, do they know this by now कि it's not gonna happen, or?
I mean, after this goes on YouTube, then they will.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you played a bit of cricket in Saskatchewan.
Right.
Can you tell us about how your transition went from going from Saskatchewan to here, and now you have gone on to become one of the most power hitters in the city? So tell me about your journey.
Oh, well, I started my cricket in Calgary, but due to university, I had to move to Saskatchewan. So when I was over there, obviously I wanted to stay in touch with the cricketing community over there as well. So I got in touch with a couple of guys that were in my university, and they were playing in a team. So I got introduced it through there, and I was fortunate enough to play almost every summer from 2016 to 2020 odd, right before COVID. And I mean, it was a great, it was a different experience because Saskatchewan isn't really that similar to Alberta, and because they don't really have that much infrastructure, right? So at that time, we only had about 12, 15 teams in Saskatoon, 1 or 2 grounds, right?
Okay.
So basically what happened is that, there's a lot of teams there, and only having 1 ground limits you in a way. So I feel like that's what, there were limitations in there, but the cricket level was also, at that time, not comparable to Alberta. But now I talked to my friends over there, and now they have nets, they have 4 or 5 grounds there, and, they have 25 to 30 odd teams now just in Saskatoon.
Wow, that's a massive.
Compared to Regina, Regina has another 30, 35 teams as well.
So Romel was on the show recently, and he said something really beautiful, that in order for our younger players to groom and go further, we do need to give them the right facility, play the ground shots, and at the same time having those indoor facilities in the city. It's very important. You have played cricket at various levels. You have gone from U16 to playing for senior cricket team in Calgary. You've also played for T20 Alberta team.
Right.
Tell us about those experiences.
So when I started cricket back in 2013 with Chinar, of course, you would know as well. That was the time when I came in as a bowling all-rounder. So I was more focused on my bowling, and I didn't get to bat as much. But I was fortunate enough to be given a chance to play under 16. I think it was the first intercity. It was Calgary under 16s versus Edmonton. So we went to Edmonton for that tour, and I really enjoyed it. It was a very different experience for me, and I think it's just the competition just went a tad bit higher than what I was playing in Calgary at that time, because we were playing Div 2, Div 3, right?
Fair enough.
So, and we were playing also, it was my first time playing on a turf wicket in Victoria Park, yeah. So, you know, that was a really cool experience. I still, whenever I go to Edmonton, I always want to visit the ground over there. You know, I always want to be close to that environment. But yeah, when I played under 16, I got the best batsman, you know, my first tour, and it was, you know, it was learning curve as well for me. I think at that time I sort of realized what my potential could be. And I think that's when I started working a little harder on my batting as well, because I opened over there, I scored the most amount of runs. And, you know, it was a really good feeling getting a trophy. And at that time we had an umpire named Tony, a very, very old guy. So, you know, he was there. He was our mentor at that time as well. So, you know, he guided me a little bit, you know, on how to be a little more professional, how to, you know, get my training properly done. And, you know, just having that sort of mentality of, you know, winning all the time. So I feel like that really helped me a lot. And then once I came back from that, then I represented Alberta under 19 the year right after. And, you know, it was, that was a really cool experience. You know, we were playing in Vancouver, Stanley Park, one of my favorite grounds as well. And, you know, it's just, yeah, it was a surreal experience. I think a lot of cricketers over there, they were fairly more experienced than me. You know, we had Burhan, Farhan, Abdullah Khan, right? They played at that level before, past like 2-3 years, right? Yeah. So, yeah, you know, it was a good learning curve, and you know, we learned a lot over there.
I know you mentioned a couple of really cool pointers. Tony is a Glenmore legend.
Yeah.
People who know cricket in Calgary for past a little while, they know Tony.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that just love cricket. Right. And he has given so much to cricket in Calgary, especially in umpiring Rome. Yeah. And Stanley Park, Victoria Park, those are like people who have played there, only they know. Yeah. Right. So anybody who has played at Victoria Park, especially, they all, it just brings that smile at your face whenever you're talking about it.
Right.
As I mentioned before, you are known for your power hitting and a bit of spin. How has that style evolved? Were you always a power hitter?
I think I always liked hitting sixes right from the start. You know, it's just that feeling of ecstasy you get when you see the ball cross the boundary line. And, you know, it's an addiction in a way. Then you don't want to play along the ground ever, right? So at that time, you know, I was, like I said before, I was started as a bowling all-rounder, so I never got that many opportunities to, you know, to open like I do now. But yeah, you know, those a couple of innings that I played where I was given the opportunity to sort of open the innings, and I just went out and expressed myself. And you know, I was fortunate enough to sort of score a couple of 50s in my first couple of games. So that's where, you know, my team at that time, they started trusting me a bit more. And then I think from there, I became like a full-time opener.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't see this inning, but I have heard about it. Riley Park, you scored 150 odd runs.
189.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
189, yeah. Riley Large. Talk about that inning.
Yeah, we were playing, that was a Stallions game actually.
Okay.
So, you know, it was a nice day in Riley Park, and, you know, it was, you know, we were feeling really good about ourselves. And, you know, it was just one of those innings that, you know, you're just out there, your head is cleared out, and you just want to go express yourself. So, you know, it was in a time where, you know, I was sort of struggling with my form as well. I was hitting the odd 20s and 30s, but not, you know,
the runs weren't not.
Yeah, they weren't coming that fast. So, yeah, I mean, that innings, it was just, I think it is still one of my favorite innings, because I think I hit about 15, 16 odd sixes in that too.
Did that open the floodgates?
It did. It caught a lot of eyes because of that innings. I think that's where I went to Toronto. I got invited to Toronto for the Cricket Canada trials for under 19. So yeah, that really opened up. And, you know, I just want to say that once I made the move from Chinnar to St. John's, I feel like that's where I feel like I developed properly as an opener. And at that time when I went to St. John's, we already had a stacked team. So it's a very, you know, it's that ease of mind you get when you're playing in a team that you know that they're gonna accept the responsibility, they're gonna take the pressure off of you, and you can just go out and, you know, play aggressively, be yourself. Exactly. Yeah.
So you transitioned from Patriots to St. John's, and then can you talk about your mentorship experience at St. John's? Because obviously St. John's is they're known for being that team, along with United and
Yep.
Crown and some of the other clubs in the city that really groom the players.
Right. So yeah, I think St. John's. When I went there, you know, like I said, we had basically like an all-star team. We had Isun, we had Parimbai. Yeah. So there was a lot of. I think. Yeah, there was a couple of players there that were playing currently for Canada or in contention with it. SIP as well. So I feel like mentorship wise, I think I was in the right group at that time, and I think that's why I decided to make the switch because I just wanted to take my cricket to the next level a little bit.
Rajat was there.
Rajat was there as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Patty and all, Pratik, and yeah, so all of them, they were there. And then I used to open with SIP at that time, so I think that really sort of helped me develop as an aggressive opener because we had that similar style of play, both aggressive and when I want to, you know, be myself, be aggressive, I want my partner to be the same. So I don't really have that conservative mindset. I would rather have an aggressive partner with me and we can, you know, score heavily in the first 10 overs or 10 15 overs like that, right? So so that was that was an eye opening for me because, you know, I didn't really know I had that much game. But again, the way that club had, you know, helped me out in ways that, you know, they brought mentors in. We had a guy come from Jamaica for 2 years, Marlon Richards. He was training with us, you know, he was sharing his experiences with us. And, you know, is that you get to learn a lot from that and you get to implement that in your game. So that's why I feel like, you know, you got to have the right mentors around you.
Exactly.
And that takes your game, you know, to the next level.
Can you talk about your experience with the U19 trials?
Yeah, that was really good. I got invited, I think 4 or 5 of us went in 2014, 15, I think. And, you know, that was, again, we had people from all over Canada, and we've never seen that before because it's usually either Alberta or Vancouver, BC. So, you know, we had the trials were really, I would say, professional, and we hadn't really been in that environment. You know, in Calgary, it's a little different than in Ontario, right? So in Ontario, I feel like they take their cricket very, very seriously.
Okay.
And, you know, we were really inspired by the Ontario guys because you could just tell that, you know, they're a notch up. So yeah, I mean, it was a really good experience for that. And yeah, we had, I think, 4 days in Toronto. We had a couple of running sessions, and then we had some scrimmages, match situations. So it was really good, really good.
So what went wrong for you then?
I feel like for 2014 when we went for Canada Cup under 17, I was actually in the reserves for the Tour of Bermuda. And yeah, after that, again, like there's a thing, you know, we've been hearing about this for a long time that from the prairies, from Western Canada, only 2 or 3 people get selected, right? So again, there were players better than me at that time. And yeah, you know, it was an opportunity that I really cherished. And the people that got selected ahead of me, I feel like, yeah, they deserved it a bit more.
So there's no bitter feelings for not being selected?
No.
After going through the trials, and you can be yourself, obviously, because you know, as a player, you just don't want to warm the bench. You don't want to just go there and come back and just be like, oh yeah, that was a fun week.
Right.
So why don't you tell me your true feelings about it?
Yeah, I was disappointed, I would say, especially 2014 because I had a great season. And, you know, I felt, you know, I could have played for Canada at that time. But, you know, again, it's the past is past. You know, you got to focus on the future. But yeah, you know, I came back and I kept on playing the same way as I would normally do. You know, that feeling lasted for about a week, but then I was over it after that. But, you know, even, you know, representing Canada is a huge thing. And I feel like even if you get invited to the trials, that's a huge honor as well. So I was fortunate enough to be named in the reserves in 2014. But yeah, we went, I think in 2015 again, we went for the trials. I think that was for the Bangladesh Under-19 World Cup. And yeah, over there, I didn't really do that well, I'll be honest. And yeah, so people that deserved the place, they played.
So the trial before that,
Yeah.
do you think, I'm not talking about the trial where you didn't do so great. I'm talking about the initial trials. Do you think you were affected by the politics, or you just think you just couldn't make the cut?
Oh, no comment.
All right. Are you done? Are you just gonna play for fun, or like at the city level or provincial level, or you're still pursuing to play at the highest level?
I mean, see, I can you know, correlate your last question to this. People want to play the next level. It's just that when you see things happen after you've done your part, and you not getting that support, you not getting that exposure, I feel like that really demotivates players.
Yeah.
And
And that
again,
happens at every level.
every level, right? So not just Canada, even South Asia, right? Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, all those countries, they still have that currently. So we can't really expect things to clean up. But I feel like, you know, if you give the players the right roadmap of, you know, if you want to choose this particular sport as a career, you know, you have to go through the initial stages, right from the grassroots all the way to the national team. So when you do that, I feel like, you know, players are more, I would say, involved, and they're more committed at that time. So again, yeah, like when you give them a roadmap on, you know, how to go about things, then I feel like, you know, people do want to take this as a career and they want to represent Canada. Or for example, GT20, which has occurred for the past 4 or 5 years now.
And it's gotten bigger.
It's gotten really big, yeah. Now, I feel like even the domestic players, even the local players, they have the goal in their mind that, you know, they at least, if not Canada, they have a very good chance of making GT20 team.
AB, tell me about your 2023, especially the smash and grab tournament.
Yeah, I mean, winning the smash and grab is obviously, it's a great achievement. You know, it's not my first, but second after, you know, a good 8 years. So that was a really awesome feeling. You know, a lot of the boys that I played with, you know, growing up, we were on the same team, Kings 11. So, you know, it was a full circle moment for us, you know, playing cricket in the backyard, growing up together, and then, you know, finally winning a championship together as well. So that was a very cool moment for me. And I would say even in the league stages, you know, CDCL Elite T20 and 35 overs, I think winning the championship and sweeping the awards, I felt like, yeah, that felt like a proud moment. And yeah, I think overall 2023 was a year to remember for me.
And in 2024, you guys ended up winning a championship as well.
Yeah, right. We won the 40 over championship.
Yeah,
so
it's the legacy. It's
the legacy continues. Yeah, CCA has been, I would say, the best team for the past 2 years.
Like likes of Zohaib Bhai and Waqas Bhai and everybody else who just pillar of the club, per se, right?
Right.
Can you share your experience playing with them and what kind of experience you've had learning from them and things along those lines?
Yeah, so I came in CCA, I think 2023, and I've always heard really good things. You know, they're always the team that is stacked with first class cricketers, or, you know, cricketers that have represented Pakistan or, you know, other countries in the past. So when I came over, you know, there is, you know, I felt like, you know, I was in a different team, because the expectations were higher, and, you know, you didn't really want to let them down. And again, like you mentioned, me and Said Bhai used to open, and I really enjoyed that. I think that's when I was picking a new club, I felt like that's what I kept in my mind as, you know, I want someone that has a similar batting style to me.
So who's your partner? And
yeah, who's my partner? Who am I going to be spending that most amount of time with in the field and on the pitch? And, you know, I feel like communication is very important for your batting partner, especially as openers, because there are a lot of nerves at that time. And yeah, I mean, like the names you mentioned, I feel like, yeah, they're terrific people. They're great mentors. Anytime you have to ask anything in regards to cricket, or in regards to, if you're mentally down and you're not feeling that well, and you go up to them, you ask them questions, they put you in the right place. So Zohaib has been a really good captain, and I've learned a lot from him, especially when I used to bat with him. He used to give me, things I can improve on while I was batting.
Who's the most selfless player in your team?
Selfless player, Hamza Bhatt.
Okay.
Hamza Bhatt, yeah.
And who's the most selfish?
Yeah. Me.
I got you there, right?
Yeah. No. Selfish.
It's not you.
Yeah. No, I don't think selfish. There is anyone. I think the goal is to win. And as a team, when we step onto that field, our only mission is to make sure that we are victorious at the end. Yeah,
I've seen something really fascinating about CCA, that they're known for chasing really big totals.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, one can argue like, yeah, they also got hit for that many runs.
Yeah.
But chasing is an art itself.
Yeah.
Right?
I think having a good opening stand really helps with that. And like I said, I feel like, Said Bhai at one end and me on the other end, we have very similar playing styles. And when we're on song, we don't really care who the bowler is. If we're in the mood, we go for it. And I feel like that's why, we chased a lot of totals that we were only, 2-3 wickets down even. Yeah. A lot of people, I remember in 2023, a lot of our players didn't even get batting because the wickets wouldn't fall past number 3, number 4, right? So, yeah, if you got to have that right, mentality when you're going in. You got to have that mindset that whatever happens, whatever the condition is, you have to fight it out, and you got to, play in order for your team to win. Lastly, some of your viewers also complain that, yeah, you may be a big shot. Maybe you're the best player in CCA or any other league for that matter. But why don't you score runs when they show up to support you? Why does that happen? I would say the people that are asking this question, stay home. Okay. Don't come and watch my games, man, because you guys are bad luck. With that, let's dive into our rapid fire, brought to you by Iceberg. Batting number 11 or dancing on weddings? Dancing on weddings. Most politically connected cricket club in Alberta? Ooh, that's a good one. There's a couple. I don't know if I want to be naming them. You're putting me on the spot. You don't have to name them. There's a couple. You have them in mind? 100% there's a couple. We'll have a chat about it after. Yeah. Moment you were most tempted to quit cricket? I feel like after 2015. Yeah. Under 19. Under 19, yeah. I feel like that's when because I had, at that time, my goal was to play for Canada, and, I gave it my all. And unfortunately, things didn't go my way, but yeah, I was really bitter at that time. I was like, I'm just gonna hang them up, pick another sport and go with it, so yeah. Most talented Canadian cricketer who never got their due recognition? I would say Sudipta, yeah. Lots of potential there, yeah. Which team has the best dressing room culture? Professionally, I feel like United.